Back in the dreaming. Nana Banyalang Minyambo Jugan. About Banyalang Minyambo land. Mama Creator Spirit was with our ancestors and is with us today. Bear, thank you for having me come along. It's an honour. Blessing of you guys in this time. For however you view it, however you see it, however you feel it, the Spirit knows. Mama, yeah. Just to acknowledge our ancestors. I know the brother loved the ocean. I feel that it was no coincidence this morning for me that I seen 3 bunch eels. We call them sea eagles. Do a little blessing for the brother that is going into the dreaming today. So smoking is about cleaning the atmosphere and getting the atmosphere right so that the brother can enter into the dreaming.
I'd like to welcome everybody to this memorial ceremony for your much loved Andrew Aggebrink-Jones, affectionately known by most of you here as Jonesy. My name is Susie Figgis, and it's my honour to be here with you today to help farewell a man who was dearly loved by many of you here. A man who was charismatic, kind and friendly, with an innate ability to connect with people of all walks of life. A man who was adventurous, curious, and well-respected. A man who also fathered 2 children, Miles and Finlay, and was a really great dad. It's impossible to even put into words the range of emotions that must be resulting from the great chasm that they now experience in their lives. So we come together now in support of Andrew's family and to process his passing collectively. We're also here to celebrate the life that he lived and the legacy that he has left behind. And also to reflect on his triumphs and challenges while he was here. And we acknowledge the shock and disbelief that will be a feeling shared by many of you, as his death has come as such a surprise to absolutely everyone. Andrew's family have chosen to gather here at Cabba Beach because Jonesy loved the beach with an absolute passion. And it feels to them that we're sending him off in the way that he would have wanted, beside the ocean and close to the power and magic of nature all around us. Interesting that there's such a massive, tumultuous swell today. So I invite you all to take a moment just to settle into your own space now. Connect with the pulse of your heartbeat and take a deep breath in and out. Just grounding into this moment that we have together now. And just acknowledging your shock and sadness, but also that we're all here for a brief moment, and in this body at this time, in this thing we call life. We acknowledge those who have gone before us, both recently and long ago, especially Andrew's own ancestral lines, both Swedish and English, as we reflect on where he has come from and perhaps where he is going now. We also appreciate the heartache for his close family and how they must be feeling that things are just out of kilter. Losing a child, a brother and a father so unexpectedly. It is certainly one of life's most bitter pills to swallow. Is Ballygun here? Ballygun, are you up here? He hasn't made it up. No. Okay, so I'll just acknowledge that Ballygun is an original Midjinbul man. He's offered the smoking ceremony here today as a blessing to Andrew. Can anyone see him at the back there? You can see, is he still? Ballygun! Okay, he will say a few words. He's coming. So I wanted to, as we have, he's an original Midjinbul man and offering this smoking ceremony, but I'd now just like to invite him just to come and say a few words to connect us to country right way. We know that this is something Jonesy would have really appreciated, and he would have loved the smoking ceremony, so thanks, Ballygun.
Creator Spirit. The Spirit is like the wind. We don't know where the wind comes from, nor do we know where the wind is going. The Spirit is like that. My cultural responsibility today is to make sure that the brother's spirit returns to the dreaming. Back in the dreaming. Of our Banyalan Midjinbul land. Mamang Yerobo. Creator Spirit was with our ancestors and is with us today. In ancient times, my people are known as light people. We are keepers of truth. And the brother today is on Midjinbul Jugan. Here to remind everybody of what we really are. We are a spirit in a body, not a body in a spirit. And as I release the brother's spirit into the dream time, I was down at South Golden Beach this morning and I shared this story down there. And I have a friend down there, Seagull, we call them Bunjil, and I feed him. Can't get to the pippies. In the shell, so he waits for me to crack them open. But this morning, I seen 3. I've never seen 3. Mama, you warrior! And I release the brother's spirit into the dream time. So he won't be back here on this earth. That he will fly like the bungee. Soar over all his pain. He will soar over all the grief and loss that he experienced in this life. He will soar over and watch over his guardians, his children. He will soar over them and watch over them, always and forever in the dream time. Bungee, bungee. Take some time today to remember what you are and who you are. You are a spirit and a body. Single bear means thank you. To the family, brothers and sisters, this man, may the spirit of this land watch over you always and guide you, teach you in the way you need to go. The spirit of this land belongs to you. This land belongs to you too. And whenever no one else is around and you feel dark, go to the spirit of the land, go to the country, go sit beside a river, under a tree, tell the spirit. And the bungee will always watch over you. To the guardians, children. Good man, thank you.
So it is our hope that we have created a ceremony today full of many things that feel true, a ceremony that is honest and meaningful, and one that will offer you some healing so that you can walk on in your lives without Andrew around anymore. So thank you so much for bringing yourselves to participate in this moment. I know some of you have travelled to be here today, and on behalf of Andrew's close family, thank you for doing so. We all just want to acknowledge that we all bring our own life experiences and beliefs, and each one of you are now reconciling your own unique relationships with Andrew, or Jonesy, as many of you knew him. It's interesting to think that this constellation of people won't probably ever be together again, because it was Jonesy's unique connection with each of you that forms this group of people who are here now, and his life is now over. And so I want to welcome each and every one of you today with whatever you carry in your hearts, whatever feelings you bring, we welcome you exactly as you are in this very moment. And hopefully you can walk away from today feeling a little better about Andrew's death than you do right now, with another layer of processing shared here together and a joint experience of remembering him and celebrating his life. This ceremony today will be honouring of all faiths, so no matter what your beliefs or religious slant, it will have a quiet universality of its own. And for those who resonate with this idea, I'd like to acknowledge that Andrew's spirit is here to help you as you process and come to terms with his loss. Today we're going to be hearing from Elizabeth, Andrew's sister, and Ryan, his best friend, and they will each do half of his eulogy. Also hear from Leah, the love of his life. His brother Daniel will read from Andrew's own book, Lottie and the Storm, and his other brother Tristan will sing a song for us. Andrew's father will also speak, Martin. And after these scheduled speakers, and if I think there's one that I've forgotten, Troy will be speaking something that's been sent in. But if anyone else feels the urge or has words that they really want to put into this space, we will invite you forward after the other people have spoken. So, and just one other thing I want to introduce to you. So on that table over there, there will be a box. It's not there yet, but it's this idea of written farewells, and some of you may have seen this in the invitation. So at the end of the ceremony and during the wake, we're inviting you to place any written messages to Andrew in this box. These will be private, they won't be read by anyone, and they will be added into his coffin to go with him through the cremation process and beyond. So the idea here is that because his death was so unexpected, it gives you the opportunity to say anything that you wished you had have said to him but didn't get the chance to because you didn't expect him to die, which can be an incredibly comforting thing to do. So there's going to be space and time to do this during the wake, which is happening right here, and then you can continue to celebrate Andrew's life here in the Surf Club the way that he would have wanted. And to those of you who've been busy organising this memorial, it's time to let go of that now and just be here in your hearts. And I invite all of you who are here just to be with your feelings as much as possible, and with your tears and probably your laughter too. You are honouring Andrew's life in a very real way. If Jonesy was an influential or important part of your life, you might be remembering things he shared with you, or experiences and moments that you had together, or something he inspired in you just through being who he was. You might be remembering how he was such a cool dude and how he would often light up a room when he walked into it. You might be remembering how genuine he was and his wonderful ability to create real connections, and that he was everybody's friend and had a wonderful way of being inclusive, even with strangers or people he may have been serving. You might be also remembering how well he wore his heart on his sleeve and was an emotional being. And you might also be reflecting on the fact that Jonesy didn't carry or accumulate much material wealth, but instead he gathered a wealth of rich life experiences with friends and soulmates along the way. And although you would probably all rather have him here with us, we appreciate sadly that things are as they are, and in order to be able to honour his life fully, we first have to acknowledge the details of his death. So Andrew's body is now on its way back up here from the coroners in Newcastle, and his body will be going into the tender, loving and amazing care of Paperbark Funerals, who will prepare him for his next stage of his journey, which will be a private family cremation. With the autopsy complete though, the actual cause of his death has now been determined. He had a moderately severe to severe coronary artery disease in the 3 main arteries to his heart, which gives a clear cause of death being heart attack. It's likely to have been very sudden for him, and he is unlikely to have known that he even had this condition when he collapsed unexpectedly in his bedroom. As many of you will know, he was found dead on the floor of his bedroom by his new flatmate, Fernando, on the morning of Monday, the 21st of July. So nobody really knows what happens when somebody dies. Some people believe that death extinguishes us altogether and you simply return to the earth. And if this is the case for you, then Andrew or Jonesy's memory will always live on for you. But many people take comfort in the belief that when we die, some essential or ethereal part of us lives on. Something leaves our bodies with our final breath. And the beautiful thing about this is that we can continue to talk to and relate with the person who is gone, and maybe even have a sense that they're still around and still loving us from another vantage point, interwoven into nature. And hopefully, especially for his children, he will still be accessible to them in these ways. Andrew's family told me that they believe that as the ocean was his religion, that's most likely where he's gone. And as he always asked for signs and signals from nature, he may have just merged into this more magical realm. He may also be happily reunited with his maternal grandfather, Gunnar Aggebrink-Jones, a man who he never actually met but was very taken with and felt a very strong connection with since he was a boy. So whatever your beliefs and wherever Jonesy is now, on a practical note, I just wanted to say that may it be that many of you men here can actually step up and feel the sort of step into an uncle role as you see fit for, you know, Finlay and Miles in their lives as they keep growing up, and help to fill some of that space, that masculine space that has been created by Andrew's loss. So in this next part of the ceremony, which will probably be the saddest, I invite you to dive into your emotional body and embrace all of your feelings. We're going to hear a piece of music, and as you listen, allow yourself to be as fully as possible in your sadness. Let your emotions dwell in the love and the friendship that you had for this beautiful man. You might just enjoy some memories, or you might cry some salty tears. But whatever you do, we acknowledge now that the special essence or the life force that made Andrew who he was is now somewhere else. So we're going to play this piece of music now, and I just invite you to really listen and be in your heart.
We have agreed with which we have agreed. And you think you have to want more than you need. Until you have it all, you won't be free. Society, you're a crazy breed. I hope you're not lonely without me. When you want more than you have, you think you need. And when you think more than you want, your thoughts begin to bleed. I think I need to find a bigger place. 'Cause when you have more than you think, you need more space. Society, you're a crazy breed. I hope you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy indeed. I hope you're not lonely without me. There's those thinking more, less is more. But if less is more, how you keeping score? It means for every point you make, your level drops. Kinda like you're starting from the top. You can't do that. Society, you're a crazy breed. I hope you're not lonely without me. Society, without me. Society, have mercy on me. I hope you're not angry if I disagree. Society, crazy indeed. I hope you're not lonely without me.
So death is one of those inevitable parts in the wonderful mystery of life. And when it comes to someone we know and love, it affects us all very differently. It's a personal experience that no one shares in quite the same way. But one thing is for sure, we are all here on this earth in the scheme of things for a very brief moment. We are born, we hopefully make the most of our earthly life. We love, and we are loved, and then we are gone. And sometimes it's the case that some people shine really brightly, they have an amazingly full life, and then they're gone sooner than the rest. And just another concept to think about for a moment is that we often see death and what comes after it as different from life. But the first law of thermodynamics is that you can't either create or destroy energy. It can only change forms. This is a bit of a hard premise to get your head around when suddenly the person you love isn't there anymore in the three-dimensional realm that you were just experiencing them in. But there is permanency of identity, and you can still connect with a person you have lost. Their identity will always be in the universe. It was not temporary. And this can be a real turning point in our grieving process when we understand this. So what I'm proposing here is that our identity does in fact predate and postdate our biology. There is a multidimensional part of each of us, and when a person crosses the veil of the perceived 3D reality, we can take solace knowing that this 3D reality actually sits within a multidimensional universe. And what if we also consider that Jonesy's soul was here in this third dimension with a unique set of codes that were actually medicine for other people in his life? And I invite you to reflect on this question for a moment. What did his soul show up here for? What elements did he unlock for people around him throughout his life? And as I spoke about before, this group of people who are here now were all touched in some way by Andrew's codes. And whatever your beliefs, as Andrew's memory will most certainly live on inside of all of you. And if he comes into your field or has been coming into your field either as a memory or in other ways, a bird that might feel a bit different to usual, just embrace it and embrace your connection with him and his onward journey over the years to come. So this leads us now into the tributes and the memories of Andrew Jonesy by the people who knew him the best. As I said, after all the people who are scheduled have been on, if anyone feels the urge to come forward and spontaneously say things, please do. So first of all, Elizabeth, his sister, and Ryan.
Andrew, my brother. Jonesy to many of you. I speak to you rather than about you because I feel you're here. I imagine you with us, your big smile, that charmer's twinkle in your eyes, that whisper of sadness you could convey. This feels surreal. We are not supposed to be here. The fact that the ocean has felt angry this week seems like a sign. I want you, Andrew, to know that friends and family have pulled together, and there's a powerful sense of love around all of us as we hold you close in our hearts. You've left behind your spirit, intertwined with Leah's, in your simply amazing children, Miles and Finlay. Andrew, I know you know this, but I just want to say what gorgeous human beings they are. We are wrapping them with love on your behalf, and I promise you we always will. My commitment to you, my brother, is that we will support your beloved children and Leah in your absence. My sons, Felix and Oscar, absolutely adore your children, and we will always be there for them. Andrew, you've lived a life which can be described as one hugely lived. You have a fantastic story to tell. We grew up in England before permanently moving to Western Australia in 1976, when you were just 4. Our household was exemplified by the deep, unconditional love from our mother and the free-spirited adventurer that is our father. You lived your life drawing from both of those sources. You had the biggest heart, feeling emotions so powerfully, a characteristic I would like to learn more from you. You've had the ability to feel joy and excitement so intently from experiences and connections with others and nature. You've also felt pain as though it were a physical wound and been open in sharing your feelings with us. The way I see it, that big heart of yours is inherited from our mother. She's always been your loving rock to which you have anchored yourself and to turn to when sharing moments of pride and also when the chips have been down. When things have gone astray, she's been there for you, emotionally picking you up, helping you find your feet again. You have, as she describes it, been soulmates. And the endless love and kindness you have always shown to her is a credit to you, Andrew. The way I see it, your sense of adventure and living life to its full is inherited from our father, who gave us access to every type of adventurous sport and activities one could imagine. That is reflected in things like your passion for surfing and absorbing the power and beauty of the ocean, your love and interest in photography and filmmaking, particularly after the course you successfully completed. Your skateboards, fishing gear, surf skis, stacked in your garage, ready to be grabbed and used at any opportunity. And your prioritization of that adventurous attitude to life. Our family has a strong international element, and we've always been happy to call many places home. But you have benefited, as have we all, from that Australian attitude to living life to the full, wherever we happen to be. Along with our younger brothers, Daniel and Tristan, who've also always held you in such high esteem, we've lived a childhood of travel, experiencing different cultures, connecting with family in different places, and all the while, never a sharp word passing between any of us. We didn't have relatives close to hand, but that didn't detract from our connections to our wider family because we spent time with them, pure quality time. Mum and I have been reflecting on memories from the countless times we've been together in our beloved family home in Mallorca, Spain, Cabarita, or as the locals call it, Salsina. That has been our paradise, and it's brought cousins, aunts, uncles together, magic moments. As Mum always says, aren't we lucky? You wrote a poem about that sacred place which you dedicated to our grandfather, Gunnar Aggebrink, citing him always as a source of inspiration for you, just as he has been for me as well. That poem was published in a poetry collection. A verse from that poem goes as follows. There is nowhere else I would like to be than where the coastal views stretch out to sea, where the valleys echo the donkey's cry, where the light summer winds help the eagles fly. Other memories have included you learning to drive with your blue Akubra hat, age 12. Rest assured, everybody, this was not on public roads. It was at the Bishop's Farm in Kingaroy. Summer holidays in Sweden and canoe trips on the lakes organised by our master of activities, our Uncle Stian. We've been thinking of our many trips to visiting close family friends in England, such as Andrew Pinnock, who's here today, and having those visits returned to us in WA. We've been thinking of sailing trips to Rottnest, camping trips to the southwest, fishing with the Stewarts in Albany, travelling around Sri Lanka, you, me and Dad spending 7 weeks in India and Nepal, you, Dad and Daniel sailing from Perth to Bali in Dad's yacht. What followed from that eventful and lucky childhood was a wild and exciting youth, and your dear and very special friend Ryan will be speaking about that, and no doubt sparing Mum and Dad from some of the more sordid details. As you grew as a person, there are key features about you I'd like to mention. And Susie has captured those, and I'm very grateful for that already, in a sense, from what we've told her. Firstly, you were someone who never valued your life in terms of material wealth. I have before, and I do today, praise you for that. It was a standout feature about you. When you've worried about financial things to me over the years, and I've given you the advice of an older sister, I've reminded you that you have chosen life over being settled. You have chosen experiences over acquisitions. I've told you that you have made success of living life itself. And I know from what you said back to me that you were pleased that I recognized that in you. If your life is valued in terms of experiences and friendships, which is just as it should be, then you, my brother, are a billionaire. Those amazing experiences have taken you all around the world. Places like living in Lake Tahoe, surfing off North Morocco. I remember you telling me about being out in the waves and describing a pod of killer whales passing by, and it being as if the ocean moved out of the way for those majestic animals. Other travel experiences have been with Leah and your children, the true loves of your life. Along your life's journey, due to the warmth of your personality and your true Jonesy social skills, which I know you were so richly proud of, you've met so many people along the way, magnetically drawing them to you and becoming lifelong loyal friends. Some of them are here today. Others who've not been able to be here have joined in by sending your family and friends heartfelt messages about just how special you were. And I have to say, Andrew, that legacy you've left us through the people who've loved you has really helped us. Although family experiences have shaped you, you have your own unique self. You have been the master of your own life. You are the poet you feel inside. I note at the start of your surfing fable, Lottie and the Storm, you quote Robert Graves, a famous inhabitant of Dea, Mallorca. To be a poet is a condition rather than a profession. I know that's how you saw yourself. Creativity meant so much to you, and it fed off your positivity. In the book where one of your poems was published, you described yourself in the following terms. I live in the picturesque coastal town in North Devon with my wife and 2 children. I was born in the UK, raised in WA, and have travelled extensively. I'm passionate about surfing, writing, music, family, travel, and living at large. Australian hometowns like Cabarita Beach, Margaret River, Denmark, Fremantle, Noosa, Gold Coast, and other places like Brighton, Westwood Ho, Dea, Mallorca, and Santa Barbara have provided inspiration for my writing. And along with that poetic approach to life, dear brother, you wore your heart on the sleeve. You have been struggling with matters in recent years, working through events that have hit you. But you've reached out and you've brought yourself around as you always do. And it seems that at this time, the time that you've suddenly left us, you were in fact surfing on the top of a wave. You got yourself back to where you wanted to be. And we are all feeling so happy that you were feeling so positive again. I myself am sorry that I did not have that last telephone call with you. I'm sorry that I didn't just drop everything and come and visit you. I'm sorry that it's taken this tragedy for me to be here in this special part of the world. But rest assured, dear brother, I feel you here, and I will stand in your shoes insofar as I can. I will keep coming to this place. It will be a firm destination on my calendar. To be with Leah, who, as I've already said, is undoubtedly the love of your life, as you have been to her. And to be with Miles and Finlay, in whom we will always see you. We love you, Andrew.
I've got a support group. Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Houston and I'm honoured to say some words today for my best mate of 40 years, Andrew Aggebrink-Jones, aka Jonesy. Andrew and I were literally inseparable for a number of years. They were the formative years that have made me the person I am today. Because I was mates with Jonesy, it shaped the sports I do, the clothes I wear, the music I listen to, and the people that I'm friends with. We met at All Saints. There was this guy with this beach, blonde, curly hair, toothpick chicken legs, wearing sandals. No one wore sandals at school. I was like, what's up with this dude? I need to find out. We instantly hit it off. I was lost when Andrew left All Saints in Year 11 and went to Rossmoyne. But of course, Andrew instantly made friends with everyone at Rossmoyne, who then became my friends, especially people like Jeff Sweeting, who's here today, lifelong friend of mine. I wouldn't know Jeff if it wasn't for Andrew. We both had a passion for board sports, surf, skating, snowboarding. We lived and breathed skateboarding. We wanted to be the Bones Brigade and thought we were them. We watched skate videos over and over again, enough to know the words, the videos word for word. We talked like the dudes in the video did. We mimicked their words. We mimicked the way they dressed. Skateboarding wasn't actually very cool back then. It was a bit of a misfit sport. And we would spend every minute of every day we could searching out skate spots. Sundays were spent in the city because it was empty, skating structures and anything we could find, getting chased out by security or the police. We loved going to the multi-storey car parks and flying down from top to bottom, praying that a car wouldn't come flying around the corner. One of the best days was when we wagged school and caught the bus to Ken Vidler's in Cottesloe to see Tony Hawk and the Bones Brigade. Seeing our heroes in real life was like a dream come true. I have strong memories of a place called the Edge Skate Park that opened in Fremantle. It was Perth's first skate park. I got a job there. Andrew may as well have worked there because he was there more than I was. Lucky I worked on the door, so we never had to pay to get in. They built a concrete bowl. It was Perth's first bowl. Andrew and I harassed the owner every day to let us skate it while the concrete dried. Until one day he finally said, yes, it's ready to skate. And Jonesy and I were literally in heaven, being the first people to skate Perth's first concrete bowl. After high school, our friend Jeff lived in Winthrop, and we had a skate gang called the Winthrop Warriors. Our gang was notorious amongst our friends, and often at concerts and gigs you would hear the battle cry of "Go the Warriors," a term that we have used our whole life. Andrew was the best person to skate with. He pushed each other. He would have a terrible stack, but he would just keep going. We never stopped skating. 52, we were both still skating. Andrew recently sent me a video of him cruising down the streets here of Cabarita and still loving that freedom, loving that feeling of freedom that skateboarding gives you. Surfing, the ocean, that's where Andrew felt most at home. It wasn't a part of his life, it was his life. My dad used to drop us off at the beach on winter's day and come back hours later and pick us up, no matter what the surf was like. I remember Andrew and I sitting in the change rooms, freezing cold, waiting for my dad to come pick us up, but somehow it was still the best times of our life. We had numerous surf missions to the shack in Lancelin. One time we met some girls there and we invited them to the All Saints Ball. A few days before the ball, Andrew and I got caught smoking at school and we were banned from the ball. The girls' fathers weren't too impressed because their daughters had just spent a lot of money on ball gowns and to no longer be going. There was some angry phone calls between the parents. In the early 90s, Andrew moved down south to Margaret River to chase the big waves. His surfing skills went to another level and I was just so impressed one day watching him paddle out on those massive North Point swells. I really don't know how he did it, but that was Jonesy. He was always keen to give things a crack. He decided to live here in Cabarita to live out his dream of being able to walk to the beach and surf every day. And coming here, I can see why. His enthusiasm for the ocean and waves was infectious. Music. Jonesy loved music. I love music. We shaped each other's musical tastes. Our friends, including Jeff and Troy, were in a band, Mountain Hope, and Jonesy genuinely loved the band. He loved their music. There was no better night than going to a Mountain Hope gig. Andrew went to every show he could. Andrew went through various musical phases. He was a punk, a mod, a rapper, a metalhead. In his mod phase, he wore 12-hole Doc Marten boots, which was a big statement in Perth back in those days. But Andrew worked out being a mod in Perth with 40-degree heat, wearing boots didn't really work out that well. It was actually Liz, I think, who started Andrew on his mod phase by introducing him to the Smiths, who are a band I still listen to today. And so thank you, Liz, via Andrew. Andrew was a really talented guitar player. He sent me videos of him playing Alice in Chains' Nutshell only a few weeks ago, and I will always treasure that video. He was building up the courage to play it at a local open night mic, which I encouraged him to do. I loved our trips into the city to Dada's and 78s, buying records purely based on their covers. Being isolated in Perth, we would just have to take a punt. We'd be checking out all the new posters and t-shirts. We'd each make sure we bought different records so we can swap them. And I still actually have some of those records. We'd stay up late watching Rage. To discover any new music because it never got played on the radio. We went to so many concerts and shows, from big day outs to small pub shows. We loved the Beastie Boys and we thought we were them. We dressed and spoke like them. And seeing the Beastie Boys at the Berlin Club in 1992 was literally a dream come true for us. I have a strong memory of the time that WA reintroduced duck hunting season, and Andrew's dad Martin led a protest and a convoy down to where the duck hunting was happening. Andrew and I decorated his legendary blue laser with anti-duck slogans and drove down south to protect the ducks. We were getting the injured ducks and taking them to a vet who was part of the protest. I distinctly recall Andrew standing in front of the shooters. They had their guns pointed, holding this dead duck, and Andrew just gave them the biggest spray on what poor excuses for humans they were. He was very lucky they didn't shoot him, they wanted to. Duck hunting was actually banned again after that one season, so good work, Martin. We grew up in the era of VHS videos and video stores. We would rent every movie we could. We loved comedies, horror movies, and of course Star Wars. Andrew loved horror movies, and we had a thing for American comedies. We loved Chevy Chase, Caddyshack, Vacation, Cheech and Chong, and I think we watched Fast Times at Ridgemount High at least 100 times. We knew all the dialogue and would constantly quote the movie. One night I crashed my parents' Volvo. Lucky we were in a Volvo and we had no injuries, but the car was trashed. We got out and we were looking at this wrecked car, and all I could think was, my parents are going to be so angry. Andrew just turned around to me and he quoted Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times. My dad's a TV repairman. He has an awesome set of tools. We can fix it. We just looked at each other and we laughed. And that was Jonesy, always happy, always positive in times of turmoil. He always saw the bright side of life. I have videos of Andrew, and all you can hear is us just laughing all the time, always happy, always smiling. His positive attitude was infectious and part of the reason I love spending time with him. I went on 2 overseas holidays with Andrew, one to Bali in 1992 and another to Lake Tahoe in California in 1997. Both of those holidays are forever etched in my memory as some of the best times of my life. A group of 6 of us, including Troy Reaney and David McGuinness, who are here today. We were heavily influenced by what was going on in the US. All the good music, skateboarders, surfers came out of the US. We watched the birth of snowboarding via magazines and videos, and we just knew we had to try it. Andrew travelled to Tahoe in the US winter of '97, closely followed behind by Troy and myself. In typical Jonesy style, he had somehow managed to find someone who let us 3 stay in their basement for free for 3 months. We had no mattresses, no pillows. We literally slept on the floor with just our sleeping bags. But it was one of the most incredible times, and none of us complained because we were literally living on a mountain and could snowboard out our front door. Of course, Jonesy picked up snowboarding in one day and he excelled at it. We spent the snow season riding amazing powder at Squaw Valley, USA, the location of one of our favourite VHS movies from the day, Hot Dog. On that trip, we also got to visit another location from our video days, Wally World, from the movie Vacation. Wally World had the world's largest roller coaster. A bit like in the movie, the day we went there, the place was strangely empty. It was the middle of winter. It meant no lines, no waiting, and we rode the roller coaster over and over again. We had the time of our lives. The 3 of us lived in a small room on top of each other for 3 months, and not once did we have the slightest disagreement or argument. It was just about living life to the fullest, which is something Jonesy excelled at. Andrew was really talented, whether it was board sports, writing poems, playing musical instruments, and there are not many people who can say they've got a published book. He loved his family, Leah, Miles, and Finlay, and he often wrote to me about them. He recently told me he was a proud dad because Miles came over wearing a Metallica t-shirt. He loved his brothers, and he looked up and admired his sister immensely. And of course, he loved his mum and dad. No matter where in the world Andrew was, he always kept in contact. He wore his heart on his sleeve, and he showed a lot of emotion. And I have these amazing messages from him that I'll now treasure forever, where he told me that he loved me and I was his best mate. And I also recently told him that he was my lifelong best friend and I loved him too. And I'm just so glad I did. Andrew had the most amazing adventures, travels, achievements, more than most ever do in a lifetime. He packed so much into his 53 years I believe the reason we remained such good friends is because we both never grew up. And now Andrew will be forever young in my mind. In my mind, you're still out there travelling the world, surfing endless waves, riding fresh powder on a bluebird day, and carving smooth, fresh concrete, and you're still looking for animal chin. Andrew had a song and a saying that life was best when sitting on the beach drinking out of coconuts. And I like to think that that's what you are currently doing. You were the Bill to my Ted, the Garth to my Wayne, the J to my Silent Bob, the Ad Rock to my Mike D, the Cheech to my Chong. I love you, Jonesy. Party on. Thank you.
Ryan, do you want the other half of your speech? No, because I'm going to do my speech now. Thank you all for being here today to honour the life of an extraordinary man. I met Jonesy when I was just 22, wide-eyed and full of dreams. Not yet knowing the scale of the journey that we would travel together. From that very first moment, I was drawn to his energy. He was so magnetic and alive, and the very most fun person to be around. Jonesy lived a life that only most people dare to imagine. Not always easy, but always full. Together we travelled the world, we lived in countries that became homes, and we found beautiful friends in each corner of the earth. He was a writer, a poet, and a man who saw the world not just for what it was, but what it could be. He could capture emotion in words the way most people couldn't, even with pictures, finding beauty in the ordinary, the truth, and the overlooked. He was happiest most when he was in the water, surfing and surrounded by the elements, whether it was in the waves of the local beach here in Cabarita or in a tiny beach somewhere nobody had ever heard of somewhere around the world. We built a family together, 2 wonderful children, Miles and Finlay, who are a reflection of all that was good and beautiful in him. He adored them. He adored you guys. He was a father who made sure our children knew that the world was vast and theirs to explore. Though his life was far too short, it was full to the brim with meaning, connection, adventure, and love. So much love. And so, Jonesy, wherever you are, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the laughter, for the stories. For the adventures, for our children, and for a love that will never leave me. Rest well. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Just reading from Andrew's book, Lottie and the Storm. He had learnt from surfing that where he ended up made very little difference. He knew that the journey was just as important as the destination. Riding new waves was the ultimate goal, but everything that happened in between also gave him much pleasure and satisfaction. The clouds are coming. It's not a bad thing. He realised that all things happen for a reason. As surfers, we position ourselves on a great divide, the edge of the earth. It's a special place where the ocean meets the land, another world full of raw energy and amazing sights. We get to ride that energy and have a front row seat to the greatest show on earth. The ocean tells me where to go, so I follow. Angelo asks the ocean, "Where will you take me now?" And the answer fills his sails.
If I can get Troy to come up, he's already on his way. Yes. He's just going to grab a seat. Troy's going to play guitar for me. Oh, good. Easy. Me and Andrew didn't always have the same taste in music. But we always liked Pearl Jam. And I never heard him play this song, but it's a song which I only recently learnt, and I thought I'd heard all the Pearl Jam songs. And it was, funnily enough, the one which resonated with me the most. And I'm not so good at doing speeches usually, so I just like to sing my feelings. Yeah. To intro, yeah. Yes, I understand every life must end, oh. And we still alone, I know one day we must go, Oh, I'm a lucky man to count on both hands the ones I love. Some folks, they have none, and others just got one, oh. Stay with me, you're all I see. Practiced all my sins, never gonna let them win, oh no. Oh, under everything, just another human being, oh no. Oh, I don't wanna hurt, there's so much in this world to make me bleed. Stay with me, oh, you're all I see. Did I say that I love you? Did I say that I need you? If I didn't, I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me. As I come clean, and I wonder every day as I look upon your face, oh, everything you gave and nothing you would take, oh no. Everything you gave, yeah, nothing you would take. Stay with me, oh, you're all I see. Did I say that I love you? Did I say that I need you? Oh, if I didn't, I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me. As I come clean, and I'll never forget your birthday again.
Well, although I've cried every day since Andrew passed, it was only on the plane to Sydney that it really hit me. This is the worst thing that's happened in my life. To lose aging parents is one thing, but to lose your son at 53 is another. We can only be grateful from the coroner's report that Andrew did not suffer much. Because if Andrew had suffered a slow, debilitating illness where he meant he couldn't go surfing, he would have been a terrible patient. When he was young, Andrew's pastimes were very different from mine. His skateboarding and surfing, with all the freedom, doing what you like really, were almost opposite to my squash and hockey, where it's a very disciplined and competitive environment. But over the years, we found things that we could both enjoy together. Bushwalking with the family, scuba diving with him and me, boating, including sailing on my boat to Bali and back. And of course, other things will come to mind, and Ryan reminded me of one of them is my interest in, I was president of the Animal Liberation of WA, and he was backing me up with that as well. And Liz and I and Andrew did a very long trip, as she mentioned, in India and Nepal, which was something we could enjoy together and gave us good memories. I even took Andrew on a surfing holiday. Now, I was on a ski board, and quite frankly, I was an embarrassment to Andrew because I didn't know the etiquette of surfing. So they'd all be waiting for this big wave to come in, and then this old fart came out right in the middle of it. So, but they got over that. He took us to another beach where the waves were about as big as a double-decker bus, and I wasn't going to go near there. I do think that the things that we did together have helped to foster the love of open air and surfing, which really was Andrew. Andrew was not religious, but if his spirit is still around, this is where it will be. Dear Andrew, for the last 25 years we've been largely apart geographically, always in touch though. Anyway, this is just a short little speech. So, Andrew, vive la différence and bon voyage.
Well done. Okay. Who's Troy? Troy?
How's it going? I just have just a message from one of Andrew's old friends from TAFE in London. He can't be here today, he's travelling to Vietnam. It's from Garrett, Strange, so I'm going to read his message. So, I've known Jonesy for 30 years, and he was the kind of friend that made life feel like a never-ending adventure. He was full of life, loved his family, and was always planning the next adventure. I have great memories of our TAFE and early London days, getting up to no good, and was honoured to attend and say a few words at Jonesy and Leah's wedding. The last 10 years our catch-ups have been few and far between, but were always as if no time had passed at all. I've been looking back through our messages together while I try to get my head around him leaving us so soon. And every year without fail there was a message, love you mate or miss you mate. Jonesy's free-spirited nature was contagious. He charged through life as if he was a Peter Pan, refusing to grow up, and I admire him for that. He lived fully, gave generously, and left a mark on everyone who had the pleasure of knowing him. I can just see him now up there riding a massive endless barrel of clouds, probably laughing and shouting, "You!" at the top of his lungs. So gutted that you'd left us so early. My friend, my thoughts are with Leah and the entire Aggebrink-Jones family. Love you, mate. Miss you, mate. And that's that one. Then I just got one quick one from Chris Wood in Perth, good mate of Andrew's. We used to hang out together. So thanks for being a good mate, Jonesy, good friend, and sharing music, skating and fishing together. I will cherish those good times. Love you, mate.
Don't know if anyone else clocked what I just saw, but this beautiful blonde girl running around in circles like a free spirit out there. So anyone else? Anyone feeling the urge to come forward and say anything?
So I'm Jen Bampton, Leah's sister, and I am speaking on behalf of the Cotter family, or the Leah side of Jonesy. So Leah and Jonesy met on a beautiful tropical island in 2001, and this beauty and Jonesy's appreciation of beauty became the thread of their lives moving forward. Jonesy became the uncle to my children and our brother-in-law, my parents' son-in-law, the father of their grandchildren, and our nephews. The beach has always been part of it. Jonesy and Leah were married at a beautiful and family-filled ceremony on the beach in 2004. Then as an uncle and then father, Jonesy was the enthusiastic adventure encourager. He would pile all the boards and toys into and on top of the car, and was there to share his enthusiasm for those boards and toys with all the kids, teaching them to surf on tiny baby waves, encouraging them across afternoons of beauty, fun, and the joy of childhood, the comfort, joy, and trust of family belonging. Jonesy was a poet, an artist, a storyteller, musician. He did everything, and this is now part of his children. I have said over many years how much respect I have for Leah and Jonesy, and Elizabeth said this before, for choosing where they wanted their children to grow up and for making it happen. And because of this, I love that Miles and Finn now have such a strong connection to this place, to the sandy paths walked, the points climbed, the sunrises. It brings me and us as a Cotter family, it brings us comfort to know they will be able to feel close to Jonesy by being here, knowing he is there in all of these beautiful places Jonesy shared with them, or by thinking of here as they head off on their own adventures to seek the world's beauty and joy.
Anybody else? Some words burning to be said. Okay, so I didn't know Andrew, but I feel like I know a lot about him now, and I just acknowledge on all of your behalfs that he does leave a wonderful legacy with you all. Firstly, his two beautiful children, and an abundance of genuine human connections, fun times, and great memories made with you all here. He will be remembered for his spark for life, adventure and exploration. His incredible love of the ocean and surfing and skateboarding. His sensitivity, positivity, depth and poetic nature. And as his family and friends and all of you here who knew him better than I did, you know in your own hearts what his most valuable legacy piece is for you. And that is what you are here to celebrate today. So as we bring this ceremony to a close, whatever beliefs we hold, we acknowledge that your lives are probably richer for having Andrew in them. His time on earth touched and benefited many people, both family and friends alike. And as you keep coming to terms with his death, does it offer you a chance to grow and possibly shift your own posture in life just a little bit? Is it a reminder of the impermanence of all things and an insight into the preciousness of your own lives? If you were to suddenly die soon, ask yourself, are you living your best life now? And what are you leaving for tomorrow that you can do today? Are your relationships with people who you love and value as healthy as can be? And would you have any regrets that you could still avoid by making a different choice or different choices? Is Jonesy's passing an invitation to appreciate all the good things in your life while they are still in your physical reach? To realize and embrace the beauty and inspiringness of nature, the privilege of love and companionship, and above all, the precious gift of being in a human body. So may Andrew always have a special place in your hearts and memories, and eventually may you find peace living your life without him in it, in the physical form anyway. So I'm just going to finish now with a wonderful poem by the wonderful Khalil Gibran. For what is it to die but stand naked in the wind and melt in the sun? And what is it to cease breathing but to feel the breath from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountain top, then you shall begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then you shall truly dance. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon here celebrating his life, and Baligan has offered to play some didgeridoo as you transition into the wake. Is that something you would enjoy? Yeah.